Well, hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dodgy Gamer here, bringing you another story order job on Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. We're going to do the level 3 order today, the Vallsen 2040. So let's bring the car in and take a look. Alright, so here she is. If we just take a quick look around, yeah, looks like the paint job's seen better days, but we're not here to paint it. So let's get this thing inside and have a look at exactly what we need to be doing. Right, so if we have a look at the car status and the order, the owner's just saying the car stopped working for some reason. They had to be rescued off the side of the road. Well, let's have a look. Quite a few parts to fix once again. We'll get to all of those in order. This time, no mystery parts to find out, but still a lot to go through. Change the oil, do the other fluids as well. Right, car's raised up. I'm going to do the fluids last this time, but I'll just drain the oil. I know from past experience with this game that, you know, if you don't drain the oil, you're just going to end up making a mess at some point. And while we've got it here, got it up in the air, let's take off the oil filter. Also got the fuel pump to remove, so we'll get that out while we're here. And let's bring this car down so we can get a look at all of those internal parts. So our fuel filter, we'll get that off first. And then our radiator needs to come out as well. Looks like, oops, I did not drain the fluid before removing it. Okay, lesson learned for next time. Right, we've got a whole mess of things to be removing here, so let's get on with those first. This is going to give us access to the water pump, which we need to remove. Get those screws out. Yeah, that looks in shocking condition. We're going to get the alternator off as well. There we go. All of these are just going to be straight up swaps, I think. Same with this idler roller. Probably want this timing cover off as well, so we'll have to remove the crankshaft pulley first. Okay, there we go. That was one of the parts we were after, the belt tensioner. Let's get that off. All looks pretty manky. Get the timing belt off as well. And the cam gear. Alright, good. Now we're going to get into the engine head. Okay, so engine head. Oh, is there one more screw? Yeah, there is. There we go. Engine head removed. Always happens this. I remembered to get the oil out, but then forgot about the radiator fluid. Anyway, we're going to have to do quite a bit of unscrewing here, so let's just fade in, fade out, and skip through that. Right, ignition wires, that was one of the things we needed to sort out, wasn't it? Ah, spark plugs, there we go. Slightly different build to the last motor that we looked at. That one, we had to... Oh, whoops, clicked on the wrong thing there. Definitely didn't want to do that. There we go, that's the spark plug I was after. Yeah, last time we had to remove the camshaft and everything before we could get to the spark plugs. This one, thankfully, a bit easier to get to. But first, let's get into the fuse box. We've got some relays to remove. Those should be in here, right? There we go, relay type B. That was one of the parts to come out, I think. Or maybe not. No, those all look good, actually. Okay, maybe it was this relay type B. No, not that one. There we go, we finally got it. One at 1% and a relay type A as well. There we go. Those are all the knackered parts. We'll replace everything in good time. Okay, I think the clutch plate's in there as well, so we're going to have to go under the car for the starter and the clutch plate. Just give me a second. Okay, so let's get into the starter motor first. I think that's going to be the easiest thing to get off. So there we go. Just a couple of screws loose, if you know what I mean. And now we need to get into this gearbox, but it looks like... Ooh, am I going to have to take off this drive shaft first? Okay, screws out at both ends. Now, into the gearbox we go. Plenty of screws to remove here. And there we go. Clutch release. Get that off. Clutch pressure plate. We're just dismantling the entire clutch here. Why didn't they just drive an automatic? Or maybe this is an automatic clutch. What would I know? Okay, that's one of the things we were after, isn't it? Clutch plate removed. Alright, assuming I haven't missed anything, it's time to get over to the computer, buy the replacement parts, and then we'll reassemble. So we're back under the car. It's time to reassemble. See, I pay attention to my YouTube analytics. I saw that last time most of you skipped the part where I did the shopping. So this time, I just cut it out. Anyway, we're putting the clutch back together first. Get everything screwed back into place. We'll get the drive shaft on. Do everything we need to do under the car. Get the starter motor in as well. And then we'll move up to under the hood. So new clutch release bearing. All done nicely. Put the gearbox back in place. That's the same one the customer brought in. No problem with that. It's going to cost them quite a bit. It was quite expensive to get all the parts they needed. Right, let's get that drive shaft back into place as well. Quite a bit of screwing to do here. Full length of the car, but of course needed to be done if we were going to get into that gearbox. There we go. That's back in place now. Lovely stuff. Right, while we're back here, we'll get that fuel pump put in place as well. There we go. Nice and done. Nicely done, rather. Nice and done. What am I talking about? Right, and let's get the oil filter and starter motor back in while we're under the car. There we go. Oil filter. Slot that into place. Now, I did have an oil filter left over from a previous repair, 65%, but the instructions for this said minimum of 75%. That's not the starter, is it? That's the alternator. That's the starter. There we go. Yeah, so I couldn't recycle that part here, unfortunately, but we'll hang on to it for later. Alright, we brought the car down. Now let's get on to the fuse boxes first. Get those new relays in and replace all the ones that we probably didn't need to take out, but took out by mistake anyway. Alright, so that's all done. We get the cover back in place. No screws needed this time. Now let's move over to the cam gear, get all that put back in. There we go. Nice brand new cam gear. Lovely stuff. Timing belt, get that on there as well. Nice and brand new. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Okay, camshaft cap's back on, which on reflection I probably didn't need to have removed in the first place. Okay, it's trying to get me to put the engine head cover back on, but I think I'll get the spark plugs back in place first. Don't want to, I can probably do it after, but, I've had that problem with the spark plugs before, of leaving those until too late and then having to dismantle everything. Guess it depends on the model of the car. Get the ignition wires in as well. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Engine head cover goes on. Get that screwed into place. Right, fuel filter screwed back in as well. Brand new, that one. Then we've got some stuff to rebuild over here. No, not this side. It was around on the other side, wasn't it? So there's our water pump to go back on. There we go. Alternator in as well, which, we did actually need to take off last time. Last time we took it off for no reason at all. Oh, whoops, I was trying to put the belt tensioner on, but we get the radiator into place instead. We'll have to restock that with fluid, of course. Belt tensioner goes in. Then, wait, have we got the belts in place that we need there? Well, okay, I'll trust you if you're telling me to put the timing cover on. That's what I'll do. Get that crankshaft pulley in there as well. Crank it, as they say. Then, idler roller. Get a brand new. Well, I had one. I had one in stock anyway, so that's something where I get to recycle an old part finally. Been wanting to do that for ages. Serpentine belt goes on. The other serpentine belt too. Alright, so quick check here. Looks like we've replaced all the parts that we needed to. So now it's just the oil and the other fluids. Oil first. Glug, glug, glug. Brake next. Brake fluid. We'll drain that out first. And then get the new stuff in. Nice and glugly does it. Oh, there's the power steering bit. Let's drain and replenish. I Okay, all the way up to the top of the red gauge, and next I think it's the windscreen fluid, radiator fluid, and then we're done. Alright, so that's drained, and now for the refill. There we go. Okay, cap off the radiator, let's fill you up. Oh, bright green stuff going in there. Don't know where that's come from. Alright, so let's check out our list now. Oil's done, everything else is done. This job is finished. And we got our case, let's get on the case, open that up, see what we've got this time. The usual 5 cards, let's go for the middle, and every time we get a bonus case, still not sure what these are, we'll find out later on. And this time let's go for the first one, XP, and the last one, and another bloody case. Okay, come on, the never-ending cases. Let's go for 2 and 4 this time. We got a barn location map. We got some more of the blue stuff. Lovely. The annoying thing with the barn destination maps is I can't go to those until I reach level 10. A quick thing I found out much later than I should have, if we hit V here, we can sell any parts. We can set here a rating, so anything below 40%, below 30%. So I'm going to go with anything below 40%. Let's sell all those off in one fell swoop. There you go, and that's just left us with some brake pads and an oil filter. And there you go, another day's work done. That was Story Order 3 complete in Car Mechanic Simulator. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos. Like them, get the bell on for notifications. Leave me a comment, let me know if you're enjoying the series and you want to see us continue with it. We'll continue doing story orders. We'll also take a look in a future video. I've got the electric car DLC, so we'll have a look at that. And we'll have a look at some of the other things you can do in the game beyond just fixing cars. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I'm Dodgy Gamer, and I'll see you again soon.